Greetings and hello, my name is Drew. I'm here at the Goulet Pen Company with you to show you how to take your Pilot Metropolitan and put a new nib on it. Why do I have these other pens, you ask? Well, I have the Pilot Plumix, the Kaküno, the Metropolitan, the Explorer, and the Prera because, spoiler alert, they're all the same nib, all the same feed, and they can all be switched, and that's what we're going to do. So we're mainly focusing on the titular Metropolitan here because it is the most popular of the bunch. However, we've got more affordable options than the Metro, so if you did find yourself in a precarious position where you needed a new nib on your Metro due to some fault that absolutely was definitely not your own, I know that you take very good care of your nibs and would never damage them. I'm going to show you how to do that slightly more affordably than replacing your Metro, which you can also do. But of course, there are more expensive pens with the same nib, like the Prera here, that could definitely benefit from having a more sacrificial pen take their nibs off and give it to the more pricey pen, honestly. So, for starters, let's take a look at the actual nib and feed that we're going to be going over. So there it is. It is a steel nib, and they come in a variety of nib sizes, all the way from extra fine to a 1.0 stub. And there is the feed. You'll find this feed on all of the pens we're going to look at, and it's very easy to remove. You just simply grab it as low as you can with your thumb and your forefinger. I usually do it to the side of my finger, and I often grab my fingers right here and kind of pinch in order to pull these away without like yanking it. It's more of like a leverage fulcrum sort of situation there. They're not very difficult to remove. They're really not, and they're not easy. They're not hard to install either. Whoop. So this nib is called, it's a keyed nib is what it's referred to as, meaning it has some little I got clips. They're not really clips, but they do affix to some cutouts on the feed itself to keep it nice in place, which not all feeds have. So sometimes you do put a friction fit nib on there, and it, you kind of have to position it yourself. Here, you don't have to position it yourself. It's not going to go anywhere once it's where it should be. And really, it's not going to feel right anywhere but that. As you can see, since those cutouts don't exist, you can't really mess it up. Once it finds the cutouts, it's nice and happy and where it needs to be. So we'll set that aside, we'll zoom back out, and we'll pick another pen to do. So what shall we do? Let's pretend our Metropolitan that we love so very dearly suffered an injury. Again, not your fault. It was not your fault. It was that coworker who picked it up and just acted a fool about it. So we're not gonna name names, Phil, but we're gonna get a Plumix here, because the Plumix right now, as the recording of this video, is about $9. So this would probably be the easiest way to get a new nib onto your Metropolitan. However, the one downside of picking up a Plumix is that you do have a limited nib selection. These only come in 1.0 stubs. Either way, it is still the most affordable option. So, oh, never mind. This is a fine. This didn't belong on here. I grabbed this from Brian, so he obviously had a different nib on here. Well, let's pretend this is not a 1.0 stub. I wasn't paying attention. This is how they come, though. So if you get them from us, they will look like this, and it will have a 1.0 stub on it, always. So pretend that didn't happen, golly. And simply, it just comes right off the way the Metropolitan came off. And as you can see, it's the same exact feed. Now, I know this is the Metropolitan feed. This one's probably a little shinier because it has been used and cleaned. This Metro is brand new. So, again, you take the new feed, which this actually isn't the new feed, but you get what I'm saying, right? And once more, I'll demonstrate it a second time. It slides right on top. Boom, and it's not going to go anywhere. And once you've got it where you want it, you simply get your pen, and there's no special way it needs to go in either. A lot of nib units, sections, housings have a little spot in there that's either flat or keyed in some other way, and you have to turn it a certain way. You don't have to do that with this. You can just simply put it right on in. You will feel a little bit of a, sometimes, didn't do it on this one, it just clicked right in. But sometimes you will feel like a little bit of a brrrt where the fins are kind of clicking up against something. That's fine. That's totally normal. You're not screwing anything up, not with these pens anyway. And then there you have it. Once more, if you look at the Explorer, same situation going on there. If you look at the Prera, same situation. going on there. The nibs might have a different imprint on them, but that doesn't mean anything. And golly, this thing is such a joy to cap. Oh my God, I love it. All right, and then, oh, well, let's look at the Kaküno. Since we're talking about nib imprints, can't not look at this guy. I mean, just look. Come on now. Who doesn't want that? Also, important to note, most all of these come in fine, medium, and then, you know, obviously you get some stubs in there. The Metro also comes in a stub, but da-da-da-da, this fella is the only extra fine in the bunch. So if you want an extra fine on your Prairie, your Plumix, your Metropolitan, or your Explorer, you're going to have to buy a Kaküno. So fun, yay. Right now, like I said, the Plumix is the most affordable of the bunch, with the Explorer and the Metropolitan kind of being neck and neck right at the $20, $24 mark there. And then the Prera is all the way up at $56 as of the recording of this video. So he's a pricey one. And, you know, while the nib and the writing experience will be the same as all the other ones, there's a whole lot more going on in the manufacturing of this pen than this pen. And I think that's clear to see. All right, and that is it, folks. I hope that has been helpful. The Metro is a very, very popular pen, and nibs don't always last forever. So I hope this has been beneficial. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them in this video. And if you'd like to know more about any of these pens, check them out at gouletpens.com. We've got a lot of great information on the product page for you. Thanks once again for stopping by. I will see you later.